Chapter... I can't do my... Chapter 1167. Ida's Sons. Okay, so there are a few... We just talked about One Piece fights, okay? So there are a few things that we know in One Piece. Hockey clash, Luffy wins, and mothers die. God damn it. Okay. Jen and Nojiko scolding a cat trying to steal a book, but they're not really mad. It's very cute. They're very, very cute. Big book of fish. A big book of fish. What if this is Oda foreshadowing the fact that they're like familiars, and this is actually Nami's familiar? Because stealing a book, remember? Remember? What if this cat is a projection of Nami? Think about that. Think about that. Okay, moving on. 33 years ago, 5 years after God Valley, we're all freaking out that there were pirates off the coast, but all of a sudden, an enormous figure appears out of the mist behind them. I assume this is talking about the one and only Nami, nicknamed Cat Burglar. That's what I mean. What if Nami is manifested? Like a sort of a Klabatermon. Nami has a stand. Think about that. Think about that. What if the end game for hockey is actually developing a stand? Think about that. Seafloor prison, impel down. Kaboom! And next thing I knew, the ship was in splinters. We were sunk in a matter of seconds. By a Neptunian? No, it was like a human. And did this event take place in the Florian Triangle? Not even close. Suddenly mentioning Florian Triangle, Oda, I can't prove it. I can't prove it. I can't prove it, but consult this once again. I can't prove it, but Oda reintroducing the Florian Triangle out of nowhere? Certainly suspicious. Certainly suspicious. Maybe this is just Oda doing like a thing where in the world people believe it, like a myth, like a horror story, like whatever. And so the journalist immediately is like, oh, this might just be made up, but I can't prove it. I can't prove it, but I know what Oda is doing. We don't go near it. All I can say, he was a monster in human form. At this time, the countless countries of the Grand Line were abuzz with a frightening rumor. A tale of a lurking monster that struck its targets, mostly pirate ships, from the deeper mists out at the sea, rather. In truth, this monster was Harald. But to the people on the sea who'd never even seen a giant before, the experience was pure terror. So he became a pirate hunter, a buccaneer. In the most literal, it's not a buccaneer, right? It's a privateer. Hold up, I gotta remind myself what the hell was a buccaneer versus privateer. We were looking at these things when Kuma was, no, a buccaneer was a pirate, an actual pirate. Never mind, it's a privateer. Because we were looking at these definitions with Kuma. I remember. As a part of his sworn oath of 1,000-year atonement, Harald assisted the Navy's efforts to uphold order. So he was basically straight up a privateer. He went around one-shotting pirate ships. What does this mean for everybody we know, though? What about our boys? What about Roger? Harald is kind of a warlord prototype. Actually, good point. Actually, very, very good point. When was the warlord system created? I don't remember. When was the first warlord system even created? Let's consult the wiki. Just 11 years ago? She's also given a position to the 7 warlords. This is 13 years ago. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that Harald basically was a test case for something like the warlord system. 7 warlords of the sea. Okay, let's keep reading. Meanwhile, the pirates who scattered to winds after God Valley would grow in power in over the next decade or two until they reached their primes and became the faces of their era. So this is Oda confirming that they will now be in their prime. So whenever I said this is Prime Roger and people were malding out about me, fair enough, I guess. Now we know that they are in their prime. I guess. Fine. Actually, no, because Roger might have already been in his prime and the rest of these bozos weren't, so maybe I'm still right. All the while, the pirates around them focused on claiming territory. One crew achieved the seemingly impossible and succeeded in circumnavigating the globe. So these are our boys. The crew led by the king of the pirates, Gold Roger. Wait, hold up. What's this weird bit of information asymmetry? Hold up. Guys, please explain. Guys, I need explanations. Why the hell is the narrator giving us actual accurate lore about world's mysteries, but Roger is still not Gold D Roger, but Gold Roger? Is this a typo? Surely it's a typo. I'm just gonna assume it's a typo. There's no way there's more shenanigans with the freaking Gold D Roger. When he was captured sometime later and publicly executed, the world government assumed it would serve as a demonstration of their power. However, Buggy is doing the Nika dance. Hold up. Why is Buggy doing the Nika dance? It's just a troll from Oda? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, the crew of the Pirate King? No, I'm shutting this down. No. Don't I know exactly what you think. You're a detective, you think you're smart, think you're gonna be, oh, did you see Rox's coloring? Did you know he has blue hair? Shut up. No, we are not entertaining this possibility. We are not entertaining this possibility. I'm shutting this down. They were hailed as the crew of the king of the pirates. Gold Roger is accurate. That's how the world knew of him. Yeah, probably. It's probably just as simple as that. It's probably just as simple as that. The allure of his massive fortune, the One Piece, sent the world into an era of frenzied madness. To counteract the arrival of the unforeseen great era of piracy, Navy headquarters recruited over a dozen giants from various regions in the hopes of bolstering their ranks. So, we talked about this last time as well with like the whole Harald going to the government, right? But this is literally what happened in the most literal sense. He became a privateer. Basically the pirates kind of struck back through Gold Roger, and they recruited even more giants. Okay. Buggy will inherit both Joy Boy and Davy Jones as well and become king of the pirates, plus king of Nika, plus king of the Navy. Harald, meanwhile, who had been faithfully serving as a tool of the Navy. It was huge! An ancient giant, they say. I wanted as a slave. Was finally given official access to the Holy Land this year. A Shallows Covenant? Brother, what the hell is a Shallows Covenant? I don't even know what this means. Shallows Covenant? I'm not gonna Google it just yet. Bro, if they start using like old English terms that I just don't know, because second language debuff, I'm gonna start molding out. A Shallows Covenant. Indeed, you are now a trusted weapon of the Holy Knights of God. A devoted blade. Oh! So what is the Shallows part? Why Shallow Covenant? Yeah, I know what a covenant is because of World of Warcraft, actually. I know what a covenant is because of World of Warcraft. In Shadowlands. The worst expansion of all time. Yeah, the worst expansion of all time. There were covenants. So I know of covenants. But I'm just wondering, like, if Shallow Covenant is something that actually ties together. But no, it's just he got the band. Not the band, the mark. He is now branded with the teleportation thingy. A devoted blade. Shallow's Covenant. Interesting. Because Emu's whole deal is flooding the world, so why would it be a Shallow's Covenant? It doesn't even make any sense. Why shallow? Okay. The Covenant has 3 Bro, is it? We have a multi-level marketing scheme. Okay. The Covenant has 3 stages. The Shallow's Covenant is but a mere trace of a bond, but the Depths Covenant and and Abyssal Covenant are reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals who can enter into a contract with the true God. Now I'm all kinds of confused because I'm getting very, very mixed messaging. So let me get this straight. You are a god living in the holy land of Marie Joie at the top of the world. You ascended to the top of the world. Yet your branding involves sinking. I'm getting very mixed messaging. Very mixed messaging from all Emo Incorporated. Is the 13 only referring to the last contract? I think so. I think the Abyss Covenant is reserved for only the 13 individuals. Yes. I think so. I do find the whole... Because like, the Abyss, when I first heard of the Abyss mark, I was like, okay, this is just a vague Abyss. But now it is being specifically tied to the Abyss as in the bottom of the ocean. Right? And the bottom of the ocean is Davy Jones. And now Emu is directly tied to Davy Jones, who is the devil, the devil of the sea. So again, I must go back. I must go back to the Sailor's Devil and the myth of the devil fruits and forest god tamed the demons. Again, I have to go back to this because the Abyss Covenant, the forest god tamed the demons, the devils, whatever the hell it was. Huh. Interesting. My guess is the lowest is just teleportation, middle one gets regen, and the top one is never ages. The top one can't be... Actually, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Actually, now that I think about it, the wording is a little bit weird. The Shallows Covenant is but a mere trace of a bond, but the Depths Covenant and Abyss Covenant are reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals. I think it might not be just the Abyss Covenant, because the Depth... I think it might be both who are only reserved to 13 people. I don't know. This is why the scan is better. Unless you have a specific note from the actual Japanese, I don't think, because Japanese is, like, famously context-dependent. So I don't know if the scan can physically even be better, even if it is a literal translation. What does the scan say? Because I would assume in Japanese it's also equally vague. 5 Gorosei plus 8 Holy Knights? I can't think of any specific numbers why that would be the case. 5 plus 8, maybe, yeah, but I'm just wondering, like, is there anything else in 5s and 8s that we have seen before? And I don't think so. I think it's just the 5 Elders, and then 8 would be, I guess, just random bozos. In the scan, the level is called Shallow Sea Contract. Bro, that sounds so ass. What do you mean? That sounds better. The deep sea? Bro, what is this, SpongeBob? Okay, anyway, let's move on. What is this god you speak of? If the day should come that you are made a proper knight, then you will know the truth. I'm sorry, like the deep sea? I just immediately thought of SpongeBob, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, he kind of took me out of it. No, bro, compare the Abyssal Contract or the Abyssal Covenant to the deep sea. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? So dumb. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry, that took me out of it a little bit. I posted the scan. Let me look at the scan thing. I mean, yeah, the scan implies the same thing. So both the deep sea and deep sea, which is the deep sea contracts are reserved for those who are to be bound. So I think it's both of them who are limited to 13. The SpongeBob contract. Okay, if the day should come that you are made a proper knight, then you will know the truth in the depths of the world. And is that when Elbaf will be allowed to join the government? Of course, Harald. It'll be announced to the world, and you'll be welcomed. I am grateful for this honor. I'll do anything you ask of me. It's very weird with the contracts. It's very weird with the contracts. But I don't know. Shangara, the Knight's Temple, Land of the Gods. Brother, why does it sound so similar to the other thing? Hold up. What was the temple called? Did it have a name, or am I making stuff up? Shandora. So now the question... Bro, it's literally derived from the same name. It even looks similar. Very suspect. Very suspect. Land of the Gods. I'm happy to say that Saint Garling has a little bit of aura in this panel. A little bit of aura. With like the mustache and the glasses, he kind of actually looks pretty cool. Now his hair is still hideous, but he has this amount of aura. Commander of Holy Knights, Figurlin family, Saint Garlic. What is the Great One thinking? Can the King of Elbaf actually take orders? Of course. Your word is my command. We got Shamrock and the Cringe Boy. That's crazy. Also, I can't wait. I cannot wait until I see frickin' Shanks, Shamrock, and like Roger, when he was young, he also kind of looked very similar to them, and then Ace, so they basically look like all almost exactly the same, minus the hair, I guess, because they had black hair. They have red hair. It's crazy. He's still a banana. He's a clown is what it is. And the worst part is that we all know that his color scheme is going to be like purple and yellow. We will call if we need you. Keep a long-distance transponder snail on your person. You're free to visit the lower world, but you will not speak a word of what goes on here. Understood. They got him, bro. They actually got him. They pretty much checkmated all of Elbaf. That is crazy. That is crazy. The temple thing is very, very odd. The temple thing is very, very odd. Because it wouldn't be weird if it was just like kind of similar, but is derived from the same word. And that's what makes it very, very suspicious. Because now I'm wondering, like, obviously Skypiea, people have been saying that it foreshadowed literally everything, right? But if you think back to the... Hold up. Let me just open up the wiki page. There it is. Shandora was built, yada yada yada, by Shandorians, the ancestors of Shandia, during the Void Century. It all has the same root. Literally every single one of these words has the same root. Brother... Is Emu actually going to be an alien? I'm genuinely starting to entertain the idea that Emu might be an alien. Like, actually, no cap. I think there's a decent chance that Emu might be an alien. When I first heard Loki said Harald was working with the person who killed Rox, I thought he meant the government, but no, he's literally working under the dude who worked with the dude who killed Rox. I think if you work with anyone in the world government, you're pretty much gonna be cooked. Considering there are moon people, it's not far-fetched. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yes. Because I'm thinking about the mural, and it was like the dragon came from literally the skies. And in the mural, if you actually look at the mural, this is not even about like weird cover stories or anything. If you literally look at the mural right here, these are different planets. Right here. Little different planets. It's very weird. Very, very weird that they all come from genuinely the same root of the word. I don't know what exactly it means, but like Shandia is a tribe of people who originated from the moon and later lived on Jaya. They currently reside within Skypiea. Right? Because now I'm just thinking like, bro, this whole thing of the Holy Land living on top of the Red Line in the land of gods above the sea, but they're making deals with like the Abyss contract, and Emu is drowning the world. As opposed to shooting it up into the clouds. Very, very mixed messaging about which side all of this falls on. Right? Shan having some meaning close to God in Japanese. Let's look it up. Tulquatais. It's in Latvian. Sorry about that. Can I do like... Can I just do this? Well, no, because they wouldn't have... They wouldn't have Shan, right? They'd have different... I'm gonna do something real stupid. Guys, I don't think it really means much. Okay, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. 20 years ago, Fishman Island, Ryugu Kingdom. Oh, Baraha! It's been too long since I had such a good laugh, Neptune. The same, my friend. We have too many troubles on our minds. Wah! First of all, no, I very much doubt your son is some kind of demon child. I mean, can he possibly be worse than you were? Well, when you put it that way. Actually, I can't prove it. I can't prove it. Actually, a fortune teller told me that I would receive a daughter from years from now. What do you say? We can betroth your Loki to my daughter. So, let me get this straight. Oda has randomly reintroduced both the Florian Triangle as well as the prophecy. Just like that. Isn't that awfully suspicious? Isn't that awfully suspicious? I can't prove it. I can't prove it. But forget about it. Listen, I'm not talking about any ordinary mermaid. Supposedly, she might be born with wild, disruptive powers. In that case, it sounds like a match made in heaven. Let's have a toast to the future of my little brat and your shaggy daughter. She will not be shaggy. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. Of all the people I would have considered that he is talking to, Never did I expect for that to be her. Because I just kept reading it as if it's like, yeah, your Shaggy daughter, she will not be Shaggy. Then I'm like, oh. Now I am very confused. But does this even make sense timeline-wise? No, it does. It does. Shirahoshi is similar. Remember, Shirahoshi has Locke in her room for 10 years and Loki in the tree for 6 years. Both their dads are kings and both their moms are dead. Well, I mean, I think that applies to like half the people that we know, to be honest with you. But now I'm just wondering how all of this fits together, because like Loki was a big fan of Rox, and Rox's son is Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is going to attack Fishman Island. Well, not Blackbeard. It's gonna be her, but it would be Blackbeard, bro. And now the whole like the fact that she is an ancient weapon and Loki's whole like devil eyes, all of that is also very weird. Because if all of this is like some kind of weird prophetic thingy. Okay, hold up. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. That year, Owl Library, Elbaf. Of course you can settle down here, Saul. I appreciate that. But I wanted to ask you something. What was that? Would you join me with the educated of Elbaf and open a school here? This is why Harold's the GOAT, by the way. This is why Harold's the GOAT. Gear 5 was also teased in Fishman Island with the pills. I do think it is, I'm calling it a red herring for now. I have one reason. One very, 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 very big reason for why I think this like literally can't be a red herring. It takes up too much space in a chapter for it to be just a throwaway joke, or just to show that Harold is living large. I think if this was anything but a reveal, this wouldn't be in the chapter. And this isn't even like a thing of like setting up a thing to go off later, whatever. This is literally just like it takes up too much space for it to just be a goof, I think. Anyway, Saul D. Goodman is going to be opening a school. Big dubs, big dubs. This is why Harold is kind of the GOAT, even though he's working with the world government. You gotta educate people. Big dubs. 15 years ago, there was a bro, is this like a brief history of One Piece? What is happening? There was a shocking incident in Sacred Marie Joie. My slaves have escaped! They've broken their cages! Get out! Hurry! You want to spend your life in chains? And now it's Fisher Tiger? Who the hell is that? Damn it! You a knight of God? I've left the armory unlocked. Here's how to get there. What is happening? Guys, I don't understand anything. Why is what is Shanks? This is clearly Shanks, right? Like, who else could it be? What is happening? Is that gunpowder? Hurry, sister. Sanders, Sonia. Someone's coming. They're fighting for... Hurry, Koala. We're getting out of there. This incident caused by the future captain of the Sun Pirates, Fisher Tiger, was also known as the ransacking of Sacred Marie Joie. So he escaped as a slave. Shanks swooshed his thingies, told him the armory was left open. He went back to the armory and liberated people. Okay, so is the entire story about him climbing the red line? Because the panel is exactly the same, right? I think this is the same thing we see in Boa's story. Is the entire story about him climbing the red line a complete myth? Or is there something going on where he actually came back? Because it seems like it was a complete myth. Which would, by the way... I'm not insinuating anything, right? I am not insinuating anything, but we have a man. We have a man underneath a flag that is a literal sun who liberated people. Almost as if the whole Nika thing makes no sense and everybody is Nika. Almost as if a man by the name of Koroto has made a prediction that there will be multiple Nika fruits because there is no such thing as the Nika fruit. Man, imagine that. We have a literal guy underneath a sun flag liberating slaves with no Nika nonsense, goddammit. Goddammit. He never climbed the red line. That was propaganda. We already knew this. He even admitted in his dying breath. This is the litmus test for comprehension. No, the thing I don't remember is the full continuity, because like obviously I think you're supposed to believe that the entire thing was made up, right? Because like he freed the slaves, but in order to make him feel like a force of nature, he climbed the red line and then freed the slaves, as opposed to being a slave and freeing the slaves. But I'm just a bit confused about the continuity of whether or not he then came back or something. I think not. I think the whole thing is completely made up. Tiger escaping and Tiger freeing the slaves are two separate events. We saw it in Fishman Island. Check chapter 622. I am like, how I currently read this is that it was completely made up. I think it's a myth, right? And I think whatever we might have heard about it, whether or not Oda intentionally retconned it or not, I think it's supposed to be a myth. So if Oda intentionally already all the way back there planned it that way, then I think people are retelling a story that is just wrong. Or Oda retconned it so that this whole thing makes more sense. But I don't think this is like I think what we are just watching is a myth. I think it's as simple as that. Let me see. What was it, 622 you said? When he says he was a slave, it puts him there to begin with. There was never a need to climb the red line. I think so too. I think so too. That's how I read it as well. I think the whole thing is a myth. What I'm questioning is whether or not he went back, and that's how the myth was born, is what I'm asking. And also, you know what else I find fascinating? Koala. Koala is a personification of everything, right? Because Shanks was born on God Valley, the place where the freaking weird bozos were killing people, right? Shanks got away, and Shanks became a pirate, a good guy. Then he freed one of the slaves, and Fisher Tiger eventually freed Koala, who then became a revolutionary. All of this is literally like an outcome of what they were doing. The fact that Koala is like a through line in this, I think is very, very cool. Page 1516. I didn't want to tell you, but on my last journey, this voyage was a long time ago. What did you see on your last journey? Human nature. Not long after I left on that journey, I was captured. I spent several years on Marie Joie. I was a slave. I witnessed the barbarity of humans. I barely escaped with my life, but I couldn't bear to abandon the other slaves. Yeah, so the only... This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. The only question I have is whether or not the actual timeline adds up, right? Which is why I say, like, did he go back or something? I think all this is a myth. The only thing I'm asking is the timeline. Anyway, he did go back? He said he came back? I don't know. At the end of the day, what matters is the fact that most of it is just like he is the GOAT. And people took him as a GOAT. He's literally in shackles in the chapter. He's a slave. He isn't coming back. He is leaving. What is the confusion about here? I think we're talking about different things. Because the only thing I'm asking is whether or not there was another thing where he came back. That's the one that... In this chapter, he is freed by Shanks, he goes to the armory, gears up, frees other people, and they go crazy and they leave. That's it. The rest of it could be a myth. The only thing I'm asking is whether or not he ever came back, and that's where the climbing red line thing comes from. If not, then it's just a thing to gas him up. He was a dude who climbed the red line, went crazy, freed slaves, and became the GOAT. I think that's what's happening right now. Came back for whom he's freeing everyone we know of. Everyone we know of, yeah, but I mean, there's more slaves up there, right? So I think he could come back every other week, and there would be more people to free. That's why he's the GOAT, though. The Child of Fate. The Child of Fate. And he happens to be the one who creates, basically, by proxy, the Sun Pirates. And then he creates what is basically Luffy, the actual... Interesting. 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 I can't wait for the day where the whole Luffy Nika fruit is retconned again and that it doesn't exist. And then we are like, wait a minute. We had Kuma, who was the Hands of Liberation. We had Fisher Tiger, who literally flew a sun banner. And we had all these people who are literally doing the same exact thing without any kind of Nika nonsense. It was just a thing people told themselves to feel better. Just like this myth of him climbing the red line. It was all about stories people told each other to cope with the darkness of the world. Until someone helped them and liberated them, just like Shanks did him, and he did the others. You don't need an Nika. You need people and you need hope. God damn it. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. I can't wait for the day where we get a second Nika fruit with Loki. Can't wait for that day. Can't wait for that day. Anyone who fights for freedom is Nika Oda, probably. That's what I hope it is. Because this entire story has been about people helping people. This whole, a single fruit. Because it's such a weird message. I think, like, my biggest problem with it is that it doesn't make sense. What do you mean? Like, he freed a bunch of people? What about all the others he didn't free? You know? That's my problem. Because, like, there wasn't a Nika for Kuma. Nika never arrived. He's the worst liberator to have ever been created, bro. Kuma lost all of his parents, lived in misery, hoping for a Nika that never arrived. It's crazy. Nika is a story people tell themselves to cope with the darkness, not actually hope for a manifested liberator. Everybody is Nika. They just need to believe that they are. Okay, moving on. I've crashed out about it long enough. Sounds like it was quite the night. We're thinking someone from our side might have opened up the armory for them, so we're looking for the rat now. Put him to death. So Rat D. Shanks is indeed Rat D. Shanks. Rat D. Shanks. Confirmed Rat D. Shanks. Yep. I think it's fine if the Nika fruit is legitimate, but the message is that it's not necessary to be a warrior of liberation. Yeah, I mean, I just hope that it eventually turns out that it's just like, I don't even know how Oda could write it, that it's like actually just a fruit that is one of many, or whatever, but like, I think every single fruit has the ability to be the same thing, basically, in terms of like the liberation thing, right? Because the idea that people wish for a liberator, and taking like the whole people wish for liberation, and then by by Vegapunk's explanation, devil fruits are like dreams and wishes manifested, right? So the Nika devil fruit is people's yearning for freedom manifested. Makes perfect sense, but why just one? You know, that's what seems kind of weird to me, because there are people who yearn for freedom in all kinds of different ways, which is why I think the whole thing of there might be I mean, we just saw this on Elbaf. There might be another Nika who like does liberation through destruction. Anyway, he's the younger brother of Shamrock, separated at birth. He's been through the gauntlet of the lower world, but if entered into the Depths Covenant, he'll be an instant boost, likely on the level of Shamrock. So how the hell did this happen? How did he manage to infiltrate Marie Joie? Why did they even accept him back? For the time being, we'll use him as a devoted blade of God, like you. I thought the same thing with Shamrock at first, but have we met before? I don't know you. You great lumbering peon, how dare you speak to me as if we're equals? I've always had the blood of Figurlin in my veins. Mark my words, I'll be a knight before you. Oh, my mistake. I like how Shanks is fighting for his life to be like, don't crash out. Also, I have too many questions. So this is after he got swooshed by Blackbeard. Maybe Roger's dying wish for Shanks is for him to find the Nika fruit, so he used his Figurlin status to spy on Marie Joie. Why the hell would him beefing with Blackbeard suddenly make him... Unless he knows about... I mean... What if he was told about the events of God Valley and basically of the whole Davy thing, right? And then Blackbeard might have attacked him for whatever reason. But what would make him suddenly... Why even go there? Because he would have already had a lot of power, just like in the regular world. Why go up to Marie Joie? Is he searching for something specific? Maybe he saw what Blackbeard was doing and saw... Yeah, searching for the Nika fruit is what my mind goes to as well. I'm just thinking, like, what if he saw that the prophecy, like the whole mural thing, is coming true through Blackbeard? So he basically went into panic mode and tried finding the Nika fruit to actually like fight off the age of darkness that would be brought by Blackbeard. That kind of deal. But I'm still very, very confused about the order of events. How he learned of all these things. Well, I mean, like with Shanks, I think it's fair to say that he would have had information flying at him from pretty much all sides, right? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, he was with Roger, and like on the Roger crew, like, who the hell knows what he knew, you know? It's very, very sus. Is it from Blackbeard and not from Fisher Tiger on the panel where they cross paths? You can even see the blood around the head. I don't think so. I don't think you can really see blood on him. I don't think that's from Fisher. But then again, you raise a very good point, because contextually it would make sense. It's just like, why did Oda have to hide him? So it's because we were just about to find out. And now you say that and I'm actually a bit confused. Because I don't know. It very well could have been. Yeah, I mean, based on contextual information, I would almost think that he got him somehow. But I don't think so. Because it seems like he just flies past him and he doesn't get hit at all. Because it's just like a quick ka-ching and that's it. I'm just gonna assume that it's from Blackbeard. For now. If you look closely in the Fisher Tiger scene, he actually took off Shanks' bandage. Is that a bandage? It would have to be, right? I think it's a bandage. I don't know, like, why the hell did Oda have to hide Shanks? Why did he have to hide Shanks in the shadow? We were about to find out what it is. We could just show his eye. God damn it. Like, why does he have to be completely shrouded in shadow, god damn it? Oda wanted to keep it secret for 1/2 a page. Okay, moving on. Let's go, Shamrock. Tell me more about the Holy Land. I want to be the hero who captures the one responsible for the attack. Any clues? There's still time to do this once your wound is healed, Shanks. You don't know how it feels to learn that you've wasted 24 years of your life. I always knew it was different from the others. We actually have the Dante and Virgil drip. I'm so happy. I am so happy about this. they have drip. I don't know about their choice of drip. And also it's very, very weird that Shamrock is the one who's going with like an open shirt. And Shanks is actually completely like clean. Very, very odd. Is Shanks trying too hard? Maybe. But their uniforms are also slightly different. Because Shamrock has like weird flowery thingies around the buttons too. Whereas Shanks just has like regular buttons everywhere. I hated everything down there. Wait, look at Harald. Bro, Harald knows. Harald knows, but he can't prove it. Harald knows, but he can't prove it. He knows. Look at him. Shamrock's sword looks like Griffin. I'm gonna be real with you, when it comes to Shanks' sword, I've got no idea what it is because it looks way too generic to be like a specific sword. I don't know. It could be his, but it also might not be, and it could just be a weird angle. Like Shanks' sword is like, it just looks like a typical sword with like a thingy around it. It's very, very hard to say which one it is. It's not distinct enough to be easily tellable apart. It might be, but I don't know. Like the sword that Shanks has also has the same thing going around it, and I guess like the arm of the bevel at the end looks slightly different, but I don't know. I'm not ready to make theories off of that. No idea. Maybe it will turn out that it is supposed to be Griffin, because you're gaslighting me into making theories, because now I'm just thinking like the sword is positioned so specifically, so almost making me look at it. But when I look at a picture on Google, Shanks' sword has the intersection at a different point. The intersection between the bevel and like the actual sword handle happens earlier than it does with Shamrock's sword. I'm not gonna look into it. Okay, that year, Fisherman Village, Elbaf. Nope, can't help. I don't know enough about medicine. Let's call Harald and ask him to send a good doctor with proper stuff. No, you can't. He's busy with his job. What's a government connection good for, if not this? True. They should have been using all the government resources, bunch of bozos. Should have been farming out the government like crazy. Just watch. I'll get better on my own. Seems to me you've been getting worse by the day. Harald be heartbroken if he sees you like this. You'll run the bar for me, Mato. No, not when you're sick, Ida. You know what Harald does each time he comes home? He visits all the elders and asks to make you his true wife. The fool. I prefer running that little bar, meeting all those sailors from far off lands. Makes me feel like I've been helping Harald out in my own little way. I know the kind of man you are, Oda. I know the kind of man you are. You're not gonna get this one. Yeah, she's dead. I already know. You're not gonna get this one out of me, Oda. No. Checkmate in your own game. Hey, outsider hag! Loki! Got some fresh meat to feed her. That bar's nice. Chill place for me to hang out at. I need it open again. He's gotten bigger, but he's still the same impotent brat inside. You're the only one who can tame that little beast. Hyruden's off with his comrades, searching overseas for... I just see in the corner of my eye. I have played these games before, yep. Searching overseas for a doctor for you. So both of your sons have a lot of love for you. You're all making a big deal out of nothing. I'm just fine. That's real sweet of them, though. You're not gonna get this one out of me, Oda. You're not. I knew from the title, you bozo. I have played these games before. Yeah, she's gonna die, and it's gonna be bad. I know. Brewer's Village. Loki's mother's home. Elbaf. Huh? What'd you say? I said we don't want that outsider woman to be coming the queen. You agree with that, right, Loki? Estra's the true queen, and she's from our people. They can't take away our fortune and status. So, we gave that wench a little poison. These ergot spores won't stop once they've been taken root. He's certain death. So we know another thing about Loki. We know why the town burned down. I mean, valid crash out. Valid crash out. Motto, get in touch with Harald at once. I will. It doesn't matter if we're not related by blood. Loki's my dear sweet boy, just like Hyruden is. Oh, Loki, stop. Ida ain't gonna die, is she? Oda's gotta be very excited for the next FromSoft game. I remember what my real mother did. She cast me out of the tree into the underworld. You want fortune? You people make me sick. Ida ain't gonna die, is she? Because Loki's just lonely, that's all. Wanna live with us? The only mother I have. So Loki hates the world government by proxy because of all the Harald Rock stuff, right? So he already hates them from that perspective. And now he hates fortune, pride, and all of these things just as an abstract. Because these bozos killed his mom. So not only does he hate the actual world government that exists, he hates these things as an abstract. He just hates people who think like this as a whole. Which, yeah. I can see why we might have a situation where he is Loki the Destroyer. Or like Nika the Destroyer. Right? I'm very much starting to think that that might be what we're looking at. That he is kind of a liberator because he just literally wipes them out. What is this chapter, though? This came out of nowhere. Oda's going all out in this flashback. 2 moms already dead. Estrid and Shanks, one about to die. So, takeaways from this chapter. Number 1, there is a very, very suspicious link with the Abyss Covenant. The fact that it goes deeper and deeper, and the fact that he is obsessed with Davy D. Jones, somehow, like, the whole thing about taming demons, all of this, and the origin of the devil fruits as a whole, and the sailor's devil, again, this is just more stuff for the fire, you know? Very, very, very suspect. That's one thing. Number 2, the fact that Shandora, Shandia, all of these things, is the same name as Shangara. You gotta put that one in your notes. You better put that one in your notes. Because they come from the moon, and then we have moon pirates and all this. Very, very suspect. Temple Land of the Gods. Highly suspect. After this, we have the potential reveal, which is almost certainly a reveal, that Shirahoshi is in fact Shaggy, which means that Loki is in contact with one of the ancient weapons, and that is something they have common with Luffy. Now, why would you write it that way? That probably means that Loki and Shirahoshi are friends, and because Shirahoshi and Luffy are friends, that means that Shirahoshi is probably going to go with Luffy just because of that's how story things go, which means that automatically we would expect Loki to also work with Luffy, which is very interesting, very suspect. Very, very suspect. Oh yeah, and Thriller Bark is all not Thriller Bark. The Florian Triangle is also reintroduced. So after that, we have now. Wait, hold up. Appa, come here. I need help. No. That doesn't make sense. I was thinking like there's a lot of things in this chapter that are about like myths and prophecies, because the Florian Triangle is one big myth, right? Based on what we know. Then there is a myth about Harald, which was a monster in the mist. So those are two things. The whole thing about the One Piece is kind of a myth in and of itself. This chapter, it feels like it's blurring the line between a lot of things that are sort of a myth and well, I mean, I guess it makes sense, you know? It's a kind of a stupid thing to say. I was about to say it blurs the line between myths and reality, which, I mean, it's not surprising, is it? But that by proxy might mean that all these things are also tangible, including the Florian Triangle. What I'm very interested in is how long and to what capacity that Shanks do this. Because, okay, now we know that he was in fact in Marie Joie, and he was actively freeing people. So now, are we to assume that he somehow leaked the location of the Gum Gum fruit? Then he left Marie Joie permanently. He met up with Luffy, and then traded his arm with the Abyss Mark as a gamble on Luffy. Is that the current continuity of what we're expecting? So, he was in Marie Joie for, what, a good decade? Surely not, right? He didn't leak, use, whatever. Like, that's not important, because, I mean, he got the food and immediately left, right? So that's whatever. He leaked, used the information, doesn't really matter whether it was him or just his crew, it doesn't matter, whatever. Might have been just his crew, he might have been there, whatever. He can't have been there for that long? Oh yeah, wait! 15 years ago, but this is 15 years ago from today, so yeah. I'm sorry, I just, for some reason I did 15 years as if Luffy isn't already, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I completely forgot that Luffy exists. So, how many years would it be? How old was Luffy? He was... Luffy... I'm stupid, I'm sorry. I'm stupid. 7? The wiki says 7. Yeah, but that's still, like, he would still spend years there, which is kind of crazy. Was he there just until he finds the Gum Gum fruit? I mean, that's what makes the most sense, right? He immediately dipped. The thing that confuses me now is, like, before we get super lost in the sauce, about the whole, like present day story, what we have to remember is that Ace, the son of Goldie Roger, is also still a variable in all of this, right? So when we talk about Shanks' decision making and what he was doing with the Gum Gum fruit, I think we must also take into account that Ace was a thing. Bro, Shanks is a goddamn enigma. He was on Roger's crew as a kid. He basically got to Laugh Tale, said, nah, I'ma chill with my buddy, then cried as Roger told him something. Then Roger died, Shanks did something, eventually ended up in Marie Joie, learned about the Gum Gum fruit, left Marie Joie, stole the Gum Gum fruit, Luffy accidentally ate it, Shanks said, we ball, and gave up his arm, and then he was like, okay, Luffy's gonna be the GOAT, but with Shanks, not with Shanks, but with Ace, he was still looking out for Ace. Because he went to Whitebeard and warned him about Blackbeard, but Blackbeard gave him the thing. So why did he go to Marie Joie after Blackbeard gave him the thing? The Blackbeard and Ace connection is what has me confused. What a weird chapter. What a weird... I would have never expected something like this to just come out of the blue. What a weird chapter that came out of nowhere. That's crazy. The takes everyone had all week were insane. Yeah, this is just like, did Shanks fight Blackbeard as a kind of approving himself to the God Knights? The thing that has my head spinning is that they're both from God Valley. That's what has my head going in circles, because like I think there is too much to speculate, because like genuinely if they might have talked about God Valley, who the hell knows what might have happened. Because I don't think, no, it doesn't make sense that Shanks would use Blackbeard as a tool. I don't think Shanks works that way. Because keep in mind, this is not Blackbeard who is already... When did Blackbeard kill the dude? I don't remember the exact timeline, but it wouldn't be this early, right? Hold up. I don't know exactly when he stole the devil fruit, because I think that is a very, very, very important bit of information. Because that would obviously color a lot of what Shanks does. Because otherwise... I just don't see Shanks using Blackbeard as some kind of, like, a means to an end. Not until he starts killing people. And I don't know when he started killing people. Around the time or before Luffy sets off on his journey? Yeah, it's too close. It's too close. I don't think I can speculate about the whole Blackbeard Shanks thing. There are too many unknowns. Way too many unknowns. There are scenes where Blackbeard looks like he looks at Jaius, but it's before he gets the fruit. Yeah, but like One Piece ages are always weird. So I don't know if I want to like simply go off of like the way he looks. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is a thinker. This is a thinker. This is a thinker. The significance of the 2 years thing in the story is odd. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is a thinker. This is a thinker. This is a big thinker chapter. Present time Shamrock is literally wearing the same clothes as Shanks in this chapter. Maybe deep down he still likes his brother. I mean, maybe Shanks rubbed off on him. Maybe. I mean, I think in a perfect world, Shanks would still, you know, would like to free these people. Probably. In some capacity. I would imagine. But I don't know. We got a meme from Archer to close us off, by the way. Emo giving away devil fruit powers like it's some kind of subscription service. Read the wall of text I posted earlier. Where is it? Hold up. Here's a fun one I stole from Discord on what if Shamrock and Shanks have been playing the twin game where they trade places and pretend to be the other one every now and then. I think number one, I think they look too different. Like, would that even be possible? Yeah, I think that would be way too silly. Especially now. Shanks doesn't have an arm, number one. Number two, I mean, unless Shamrock is actively cutting off his arm and then regenerating it, but that wouldn't make sense because he would have to cut off his own mark. So no. So Shanks doesn't have an arm. And Shanks has 3 giant gashes over his eye. And he has completely different hair. I don't think so. It's a fun theory, but I don't think it logistically makes sense. Like, purely logistically. It's possible, since if Shamrock wears a bandage, he would look very similar to Shanks and style up your hair. Bro, if you have hair like his hair is longer than mine. There is nothing I can do with my hair to style it like Shanks's. It's too long. Like, even if I take like one strand of hair, it's too long. So I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, I will leave it there for today. This has been one of the longest chapter reading streams in I don't know how long.
Someone cooked here.
Now that's true. Now that is the best use of Twitch points. This is one of the biggest thinking chapters, and I don't, because like I'm just wondering like what is the function of tying Fisher into all of this, right? Is it also implying that Shanks might have been doing all kinds of other sabotage acts? Maybe. It's a decent chance. Okay, before I start yapping about other things, thanks a lot for joining me. Is there a break next week? Tell me. If there is a break next week, I'm gonna crash out. There is no break. Wonderful. So, I'll see you all next week for a One Piece chapter, and probably a few times throughout the week for more videos. Very good chapter. One of my favorites in a long time, because this is a thinker. There's a lot of things I want to think through, and this is one of those times where you got to bring up the One Piece timeline to not get very confused. All right, that's it. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.